Recording! All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 5 of MotoConvo. This is going to be a very compact, very hopefully quick review of Thunder Valley and High Point of 2018 AMA Motocross by Lucas Oil. I'm working on my sales pitch and promotion voice, just in case that ever comes in handy. First and foremost, an update. As of recording this, I didn't put anything up on YouTube about my concussion. So if you're on YouTube right now, you can see that my nose is healing a lot. I might throw a photo up real quick of how bad it was. But, and you can see on my forehead, see if I can change the focus here. You can see on my forehead here, the cut is healing. It's still a little swollen around it. You can see with the lighting, it's still a little swollen. This was all road rash. This was glued shut. This was glued shut. Both my knees were glued shut. And, but we're doing better. So, I can put my helmet on and my goggles on and not feel any, pain or pressure. So back to riding here soon. It's been monsooning in Iowa, so that does not help a single thing. But need to get going here. So let's talk Thunder Valley. First off, let's start with 250s because they're the lights, and the 450 is the premier class. What did I just do that for? All right, so let's just do the top. We'll do the top 5. Actually, top 6, because there's in 6th for the 250s there was a surprise in a way for me. Okay, so Thunder Valley, the top 6, it went Jeremy Martin, Alex Martin, Justin Cooper, Austin Faulkner, Jordan Smith, and Aaron Plessinger was in 6th. He had a 6.4, which was surprising for me because he's been so good. I guess leading up to Thunder Valley, he's been doing excellent. Before we get too far into this, let's start with the bigger news, so to speak. Now that we're past High Point, and Tennessee was yesterday, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure Tennessee was yesterday. In the 450s, Jason Anderson is out. I'm pretty sure he broke his foot, if I remember that correctly. I need to revisit this before. I should have revisited this before I did this podcast, but here we are. So we're just going to wing it. Anyway, so Jason Anderson is out and Zach Osborne is out, which kind of sucks for me because I was really going for Osborne to win the title, and I've really become a fan of Jason Anderson. I wasn't a huge Jason Anderson fan, but he really, really grew on me, especially in the 2018 season. Yeah, Supercross 2018 season. So, obviously the Martin brothers. Jeremy won the overall with a 2-1, and Alex won. He got a 3-2 overall in the second moto. He did, I feel like it's kind of hard to say with those two because they seem to be so back and forth in a brotherly way, like racing. I think it's cool to see, simply because my brother and I, we grew up riding a lot, and we would always challenge each other, so it's really cool to see those two brothers out there riding. But I didn't think there was a whole lot to be said, I guess. My main reason for pointing out Aaron Plessinger is Plessinger. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. But like I said, 6th, I was kind of surprised by. Obviously, it wasn't a great showing for him, but nonetheless, he sure does make a comeback at High Point, which we'll talk about in a second. First, let's talk about the 450 overall results. You're not going to be surprised here. The top 5 go Eli Tomac, Ken Roczen, Blake Baggett, Marvin Musquin, and Benny Bloss. Tomac 1-1, Roczen 2-2, Baggett 3-3, Musquin 4-4. Obviously, your top contenders, Baggett is First, let me say I like Baggett, but I wouldn't say that he was among. I feel like the top 3 to be considered for the title were Musquin, Roczen, and Tomac, just from industry talk, not because Baggett doesn't have the skill. Especially watching Baggett grow up. I guess that makes sense. But watching Baggett when he was at Pro Circuit, El Chupacabra, I loved watching Baggett. He'd like just halfway through the moto, here he comes. But I think that I am a big fan of Baggett. I hope that he can really pull through and keep going. We're going to talk about points after we discuss high point. But like I said, Tomac 1-1. No one's really shocked at that right now just because he's so good. And Roczen, I'm very happy with because, like I said before, Roczen was probably my favorite 450 rider going into this season. And I was really hoping that K-Rock, even though he had the wrist injuries coming back from, I was really hoping that he could get going and we could... Oh, I should grab something to drink. That he would be a very strong contender for the championship. I think that as it goes by, as time goes by, his wrist is only going to get better. So it's just a matter of time, really. So let's discuss high point. Like I said, this is very condensed and very quick. Right now we're 6 minutes, so we're just kind of flying through it. The top 5 for high point. Welcome back, AP. Aaron Plessinger first, Austin Faulkner, Justin Cooper, Dylan Ferrandis, and RJ Hampshire. Dylan, if I pronounced your last name wrong, I apologize. AP, Aaron went 1-1, which was very impressive, I guess is the word to use. It was nice to see him do that. I've actually become a much bigger AP fan because while I've been off on this break from doing the podcast and the YouTube stuff, I'm still very involved in watching motocross related stuff. And I've really gotten to know Aaron from watching stuff like that. And I've really become a bigger fan of him. And it's really nice to see, as opposed to, I think it was 2 years ago, a year or two ago. I can't remember exactly. Just how he was still at Yamaha, obviously, but just building up to the point where now he's the head of the class. Really, he's the guy that you're really looking to when you're looking for consistent, and I guess persistence also. But that's really nice to see. Austin Faulkner, it's nice to see him back up. He did a 4.2 at high point. And the Martin brothers. Jeremy obviously had a DNF. He finished, his motors were 2.3 for 10th overall, and Alex was a 12.5. And there was a lot of drama within the 250s, just with people going down or something like that, or bike issues, obviously, for Jeremy. But nonetheless, a good race. Before we get to the 450s of high point, I wanted to mention that I'm going to be completely honest, and I'm going to do another podcast very soon about my favorite tracks, my least favorite tracks, and I'll tell you right now, my least favorite track right now is Thunder Valley in Colorado. Ever since they added that stop, I couldn't tell you exactly what year they added. I know, was it 06? Was it 06 they added it? 05 or 06? I think 06 they added Colorado. And I've never really been that big of a fan of the track and the surface. And I've been to Colorado. I love Colorado. I like going there. Especially the mountains. That was awesome. But the track I haven't been a huge fan of. Nothing really interests me about it. That sounds kind of bad. I don't want to sound like I'm tearing down Thunder Valley. I'm sure it's an amazing facility, but I've never been a fan of Colorado. High Point is a classic in my opinion, and we'll get more into that later on as we go into the next podcast episodes of my favorite tracks and least favorite tracks. And I had another idea. I meant to write it down, but I didn't. So let's just get to 450s on High Point. We got the top 5. Shocker. Eli Tomac, Marvin Musquin, Justin Barsha, Ken Roczen, and Justin Hill for the top 5. Eli Tomac. He was going for. I wouldn't necessarily say going for, but Eli was en route to a perfect season until Moto 1 of High Point, which anyone who's listened to the podcast knows that I'm not a giant fan of Eli Tomac. That's kind of changing the more I watch him ride because, like I said before, when riders really push the envelope and like you can tell they're like riding the edge, they're really hanging it out, it's hard to not like someone. And that is why I still enjoy watching Tomac. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Tomac, but his riding is obviously, I mean, you can't really say anything bad about it. He's certainly the head of the class, obviously. Musquin, where was I going with this? Musquin beat him Moto 1. So Eli Tomac went 2-1 for Moto 1 and 2, and Musquin went 1-2. Barcia made a nice podium appearance. I've always liked Barcia, especially when he was on Geico Honda, number 17. Loved watching him then. But I really like how Barcia seemed to mature as we've gone on here, and he is I think he's because he's mature. I think his personality's changed in a way that I prefer. Because I'm so selfish, and this podcast is about me. All joking aside, congrats to all those guys and the 250 guys. K-Rock, he went 7-3 at High Point. Pretty sure did he go down? I know Kenny didn't go down. I might be thinking of someone else, but yeah, I'm really hoping that, obviously, like I said before, just repeating myself here, that K-Rock can keep pushing and get back up here. I've become a bigger fan of Roczen also as I watch more stuff, kind of like AP, like I mentioned. Let's discuss points here real quick, because there's nothing you won't necessarily be surprised by. But the 250 points, AP Aaron is leading with 199. Then we have, the Martin brothers, Jeremy and Alex, in second, third, 176, 170. And it kind of works its way down there to Justin Cooper, Faulkner, McElrath. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Also, Jordan Smith, RJ Hampshire, and so on. Joey Savacci is in 10th for the points. And obviously Zach is out, who is in 11th. But I want Joey to get up there and just, really be pushing for the title. He is a decent amount of points back right now. But it's motocross, so anyone watching this or listening to it knows that anything can happen. 450s, shocker, Eli Tomac's at the top. Musquin has 210, which is 32 behind him, which is not, I'm pretty sure this is after, Southwick is coming up. High Point just passed. So, no, Tennessee okay, Tennessee is the one I'm missing. Man, I'm all over the place here. But Tomac, Musquin, Barcia, Roczen, Baggett round out the top 5, then Pike, Blows, Nicoletti, Cooper, Anderson. Obviously, Anderson is out, who is in 10th right now, which is ironic, isn't? I know Osborne's in 11th. So those guys are both out, but Tomac is still leading. My prediction is still that Tomac's going to win the title just because he's very, very good right now. And Musquin and Roczen are both showing good signs of being up there to fight, but Tomac is just very consistent and wicked fast. So, as we move on to future podcasts, I want to hopefully get more in depth, but like I said, I'm really trying to catch up on work aside from just the moto stuff. I still have a part-time job, and I'm the owner of a business, so trying to catch everything up that just got really messed up, and June was always stupid busy, but having the time of my life. If Iowa could stop raining, it would be great. Yeah, I'm going to do, I think that'll wrap up the results for, Thunder Valley and High Point. I forgot what it was. Future plans going on from here. I'm going to do a favorite tracks podcast, and Yawn, excuse me. And July 7th, here they're running a Best of the Midwest motocross series. July 7th, which is a week and 5 days from now. I'm certainly going to be doing a motovlog that day because the Best of the Midwest circuit is going to the farm MX. August 5th is the next day of open practice at the farm that I'll be at. I won't be racing the Best of the Midwest series, but I'm really hoping to get back on the dirt bike this week and next week and go into a local track here in Des Moines. And just so much going on. But the plan is to stay up to date as much as possible on Anchor and YouTube. So check us out on YouTube. MotoConvo is the page name, same as Anchor.fm. And thank you guys for listening. Good job to everyone, doing their thing on the circuit and the series. Hopefully Anderson and Osborne can get better. And we will go from here. I do apologize if you wanted more in depth for this review, but I just wanted to put these two together because I'm getting so far behind on watching the series. And Tennessee is next. Southwick is next. I need to watch Tennessee, and the podcast episode is next. You get the point. You know what I'm talking about. Subscribe, all the good stuff to do. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye. RV2, dog. Alright, seriously though, I'll talk to you guys later.